In a belated response to the hot housing market that Canada was experiencing in 2020 through to 2022, the Government of Canada has implemented the Underused Housing Tax, or UHT, as of January 1st, 2022. What does this mean for you? In this video, I'll take you through what you need to know about this murky new housing tax and who it affects in Whistler. As stated by the Government of Canada, the UHT is an annual 1% tax on the ownership of vacant or underused housing in Canada that took effect on January 1st, 2022. The tax usually applies to non-resident, non-Canadian owners. There are situations, however, where the tax or reporting obligations could apply to Canadian citizens or residents, so it's important that you understand whether you're an excluded or affected owner based on your specific situation. When being considered for the UHT, property owners can be grouped into three separate categories. Excluded owners who are not required to file, such as a Vancouver owner of a weekend home in Whistler. Affected owners would be foreign owners of property in Whistler who must file but qualify for an exemption and thus not be required to pay the tax. Such an exemption would be if your property is occupied by you personally for 28 days minimum, or if it's rented out commercially for the year. Affected owners would be a foreign owner of a property in Whistler who must file and pay the tax because their property is sitting unoccupied and not used the required minimum of 28 days per year. Generally speaking, Canadians who own property in Whistler personally, i.e. not through a partnership, corporation, or trust, are excluded owners and do not have to file for the UHT. If you're a Canadian affected by the UHT, there are many circumstances in which you can be exempt. For example, when a property is owned by a Canadian corporation, owners may be exempt from paying the tax, but still must file the appropriate documentation or face fines of $5,000 or more. There are many different types of exemptions for the UHT, such as exemptions that may apply based on where your property is located. Similar to Canada's foreign buyer ban, properties located outside of census metropolitan areas and census agglomerations, meaning properties in Whistler and Pemberton, are eligible for exclusions, but their owners may still be required to file to obtain that exemption. So, what does that mean for you? In general, the application of the underused housing tax is pretty complex, and we recommend that you talk to your Whistler accountant about how it may impact you and your Whistler or Pemberton property. Filings for the 2022 tax year are due April 30th, 2023. Now, if you want to keep watching more great videos, I've got a playlist right here, and if you never want to miss another, just subscribe.